What's going on, guys? This is Kaisha. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover OCG Metagame Report and deck list reviews from February 23 to March 1, 2025. So week-long span of tournament data gathering, and we are going to uncover tournament results in Southeast Asian regions, namely Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Vietnam. So we're going to cover the smaller regions in Asia, but also we're going to unveil the remainder of the ALIN format that we have, and before we venture towards the new deck build format that will introduce Dragon Tail, Yami, and I think we are going to have the ban list this coming 3rd or 4th week of March, so the January format will come into a close very soon. So moving forward, let's start with Muhammad Zamzami's shared tournament report from Time Walk in Indonesia. First, Bang Makan Bang Maliss. So Maliss has been standardized as a tier 1 deck for a very long time already. It doesn't matter whether Ryzel or Maliss is your best deck. I think those two can be interchangeable, whether what is your best deck and what is the current best deck in this meta. And also Maliss and Ryzel are just cut above the rest. It is just has so much consistency, so much resiliency, and explosiveness that can outgrind almost every single deck. And I do think that this Maliss particular deck list is very standard, just playing the new cyber supports of Ignister and the usual Bestial and Shifter, which is really good against the Blue Eyes and Orcust matchup. And yeah, moving on towards the second place, Maliss once again from Saya. It didn't opt to play Signet Mining on the main deck. Instead, it opted to play on the side and also sported 2 XYZ Encore to answer the Ryzel problem, which is really strong against this meta. And if you just want to counter the Ryzel, why not go for a specific card that counters the Detonator, no? So XYZ Encore can deal so much damage against the board of Ryzel. And moving on next, we do have Ancient Fairy Dragon White Forest. Wow, this is really spicy. I don't think that I have seen this type of deck before, but this is really interesting. I mean, it could work. It just really patronizes playing so much into the field spell of both archetypes. And with Ancient Fairy, you have branches of extensions, and it is very weird that he is not playing Spellcaster Village. Maybe he doesn't prefer playing it. Instead, just go with the Diabel and White Forest line of play, no? And side copies of Daruma Cannon. Wow, interesting. Really solid going first card. Very unexpected. Next would be Blue Eyes Primite. Very standard. Just played Veiler over Nibiru, and Droll has been seeing so much popularity recently just to answer the Ryzel problem. And if you throw Droll under Ryzel, they would be rendered with limited amount of resources and they cannot really procure their ad mechanics. And next, moving on, we do have Duel Bacolod tournament. We do have Primate Blue Eyes from Harvey. So triple drill beam. Wow, not 2 but 3. These 3 can be really spicy and can be really controversial on some cases. If you are going to risk chances of drawing 2 drill beam, and can be quite bricky going first, but yeah, I think it is reasonable enough to see 3 drill beam. It really depends on the environment that you're playing. I do think that 3 drill beam has a space in the Philippines environment, especially on a rogue environment. Next would be Branded Regenesis. Wow, another spicy deck. So it's just the second report, but we are already seeing so much interesting decks this time. Branded Regenesis. So why not? No, you still have 2 5-stat lines for the branded, like the Bestial cards, and you could do so much with Regenesis. Offers extra negates on the board and extra bodies with high attack stat lines that could hurt the opponent. And next would be Maliss. Once again, triple Dominus Impulse right now. I think it's just so sensible to play 3 Impulse and 1 of Signet Mining just to cream things off for the consistency. And next would be Primite Azamina Finsmith. So technically, engine deck just played 3 of the most popular engines that we currently have in this metagame and just call it a day. It's just so good, and being able to play Primate plays, getting into your Drill Beam, Finsmith, going into your Lacrimosa plays, and Azamina offering Omni Negates is just really solid for Alexis being the top 4 of this tournament. And moving on next, we do have Duel Bacolod, another tournament from Bacolod. First would be Ed with Orcust. Pure Orcust this time, didn't have to play Finsmith. I do think that I would prefer it this way as well. I do think that Orcust as a pure can have so much space like this, playing Droll, Impulse for example, and you can throw Droplets or Solemn Strike, unlike the Finsmith variant which can be lacking on main deck slots. Moving on next, we have Lawrence, Branded Regenesis, kinda similar deck as earlier, but this time played more Regenesis cards, if I'm not mistaken. And also played Saronir. Didn't up to play Druid's Worm. Yeah, didn't up to play Druid's Worm and Baldrake. Yeah, no Baldrake. Just played Aluber with the cards of Quem and the Cartesia, no? I think it's just a throwback towards the old branded of 2021 where you need to rely on the Alubers and your branded fusion. And moving on next, you have Rafa, White Forest as a Mina Finsmith. So another engine deck. You don't really see too much White Forest decks sporting Finsmith. Engines on Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, no, those regions doesn't really want to play White Forest with Finsmith, but you could see these versions on smaller regions like Philippines and Indonesia. So I think it could offer resiliency for you and extend your plays. Next would be Harvey, Blue Eyes Primite this time. I think same decklist as earlier, triple Drill Beam, and also sported the Gamma package with Driver and the Gamma. And moving on next, we do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Talangong Yuto, top 4. Champion would be Azamina Rescue Ace. It has been a while since I have seen Rescue Ace. I do think that this deck can still perform on some occasions, especially if the meta warrants the Rescue Ace. If your opponent doesn't have too much answers for your contain, rescue, all of those stuff on your back row, and potentially being able to capitalize your Finsmith and Azamina line as well. And next would be runner-up, would be Metal Morph Regenesis. Wow, really interesting. Not really sure how this worked, but it worked, no? You just basically traded off Floodgates and other consistency cards for the Metal Morph package. Wow, really spicy. Next would be Orcust from Mong Myong. Orcust once again, pure raw version, up to play Impulse and double Nibiru. And moving on next, we have John Smith, Jubel, Unchained, Finsmith. So technically Fiend Link deck at this point. And yeah, pretty standard. Just played one of Vader and one of Droll. Moving on next, we have Ragnarok Duelist, Pekalongan tournament. First would be, wow, what insanity is this? Gladiator Beast from Rizky. Oh my days. Wow. So I'm not really expecting seeing Gladiator Beast topping in 2025, especially the support seem lackadaisical. Kinda complements the engine and the archetype, but it is just not enough to push Gladiator Beast on the tier list. But for some reason, I do find it's very satisfying when we can see Gladiator Beast going to the lengths of playing Speedroid cards and Punk cards just to extend the play of Gladiator Beast and penetrate through the boards of your opponents. Going first or going second, it doesn't matter. I think this deck has enough gas. And yeah, really solid performance from Rizky. Moving on next, we do have Duelist Debata tournament. First would be Tenpai Dragon. Tenpai Dragon is just so good in the Southeast Asian regions, Philippines. If you're living in the Philippines and you're playing OCG religiously, you would know what I am saying about this Tenpai Dragon. It doesn't go out in fashion. It's just so played in so many events, so many locals, so many places and regions in the Philippines, Tenpai Dragon will not even die at this point. And as a matter of fact, it is still rising up through the ranks on bigger regions. Japan, South Korea, Tenpai has been solidified as a tier C, sometimes tier D deck, sometimes even tier B. I think Tenpai Dragon has so much grit and unconventional element where it just goes seconds every time and just bombards everyone with draw power, board breakers. I mean, you cannot do anything, no? Gordon Schneider, Forbidden Droplet, Lightning Storm, and on top of that, you're getting thrown with Fualos Purulya and freaking Maxi. So, yeah, it's pretty much understandable. It doesn't take a genius to see how Tenpai Dragon can adapt towards certain situations. And next would be Orcust. So, Orcust with Finsmith this time, triple droplet, and 1 of Talent. On the main deck, only played 2 Imperm, which is very odd. And 1 of Gozen Match on the side deck, really spicy, because you just run Dark Monsters now. And next would be Ryzil. Our first Ryzil in our part. Yeah, first Ryzil. And 3 Dark Hole, wow, on the side deck. I mean, you could play Raigeki aside from Dark Hole, but yeah, it could work. It could work pretty much. Next would be Adit. Sight Turbo. He just named his deck Sight Turbo, just how functional the Live Twin Finsmith can do the Dagda package. So it just stuns the opponent and skips the turn of almost everything. And it's just so good on doing that now. And moving on next, we do have any member duelist tournament. Champion would be White Forest. Yeah, White Forest. Double Nibiru, 1 of Wallace on the main deck. And also played Chaos Angel on the extra deck. Next would be Blue Eyes Primate from Sultani. So 1 of Summon Limit instead of Skill Drain, which is pretty understandable. Maybe you don't really want to shut down your own effects and doesn't want to rely on high attack monsters of Blue Eyes. So it's understandable playing Summon Limit over Skill Drain. Next would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming Ranking Tournament. First would be Vince, Paulo, Dagalak, Cristron. So Cristron is just so represented on so many levels. Small events, small tournaments, 4-man, 8-man locals, up towards the big 32-man, 64-man events in Japan and South Korea. I think Cristron is one of the decks that continues to perform no matter what happens. It's just so consistent and so good on doing those complex synchro plays and being able to dish out Omni Negates now. Baron de Fleur, Mecha Ba, for example, is just so good on cancelling out every card that your opponent throws at you. And next would be Kong Orcust. So playing 1 of the Black Goat Laps on the main deck because you don't care about it being discarded or being set. It doesn't matter, you're able to utilize those effects on this type of deck like Orcust. Next would be Andrew Aguinaldo, White Force Azamina, 3rd place. Pretty standard, played Wallace on the main deck and double talent. Didn't have to play Nibiru or Droll this time. Next would be Jobel Vios, Blue Eyes Primate. Play Double Bell I guess. Yeah, Double Bell, still decent against Winsmith decks and other graveyard centric decks. And yeah, I think it could work. Yeah, pretty much Bell can do wonders on this environment. Next would be KGS Card Shop Tournament. First would be Pendulum, Pile, Melodious, freaking Supreme Zerk. Yeah, Zerk, Melodious to be exact. Played triple Dragon Shrine. I think 2 Dragon Shrine is enough, but most people would rather play 3 Dragon Shrine as their 40th card. But for me, I would want to resort with 2 Dragon Shrine only. And yeah, play Dogwood on the side deck, just a way to gain life points because this combo of this deck just goes beyond 15-20 minutes. You literally spend half of the game with just your own combo. So it's just sensible to play gain LP cards now. Next would be Ibam Tambayan Tournament in Iloilo. Champion would be Prince Ursua, Maliss, really standard deck this. very functional as well. Didn't up to reveal his side deck, but wow, it is playing 2 droplet on the main deck. Really interesting. And double follows, bunch of 2 offs, no? 2 droll, 2 droplet, 2 follows, and 2 impulse from Prince. And 42 card as well, quite extensive. Play the EMP tuner as well on it. Yeah, interesting deck list from Prince. Next would be Ibam Tambayan tournament in Iloilo. Shoutouts to our friends in Iloilo. First would be Maliss Shin Alter, playing Maliss once again. 3 falls on the main deck, 1 of Gold Sark and 1 of Talent. Didn't up to play Signet Mining or Allure. Just focus on hand trap variations and staples like Talent. And also played Ogre, no? Quite interesting to see Ogre here. You don't really see much Ogre nowadays, but could still perform on some environments, especially against Ryzil and Blue Eyes. Probably could be hurt with Ogre and some control decks like Runic. Next would be White Forest Azamina. Pretty standard, just played Angel Statue and 1 Deception only. Wow, pretty ballsy to play 1 of Deception on it. Most often than not, you would see 2, but it is very rare to see 1 nowadays. Next will be Blue Eyes Ancient Fairy from Anthony Generic Apelado. He's just so good on fine-tuning his Blue Eyes deck. Last time, he's playing more copies of Drill Beam. Now, he's resorting towards Primite Ancient Fairy variant. Ancient Fairy can be really surprising. If you don't know what this Ancient Fairy does for you, I think you could get pretty overwhelmed with this type of build, and you don't know the choke points of it and where does it extend the Blue Eyes play, no? So yeah, it could be really surprising. And next, moving on, we do have Nessa Alliance tournament. First would be Rafty Maliss. Standard, yeah, standard double Signet Mining this time. And moving on next, we do have second Chimera Finsmith Azamina. So Chimera has been dropping their numbers recently. I am not really sure why. I don't think that other tier 4 rogue decks got just better, but instead, I think Chimera players are just growing tired of the deck, probably. Not really sure, but I know a lot of devoted Chimera players that is so good with the deck, and they keep on topping tournaments like Joshua Coriano, Alan Kipich, Sean Quijano, to name a few of my Chimera players in the Philippines. So I think this deck can still bring so much thing to offer in this metagame, but it is just so underutilized for me. Next would be third Tenpai and Maliss. Yeah, standard. I think Maliss has been more played in Southeast Asian regions above Ryzil, because we do have seen a lot of Maliss. Fourth would be Branded. Wow, another Branded this time, with Branded Lost on the main deck and 41 card Branded. Wow, you don't see that much these days. Didn't opt to play the grass version with Trust and Evenly and Droplets on the main deck. Instead opted to play 40 with Gimmick Puppet Lock. Next would be Arcanium Hobbies Tournament. First would be Memento Atlan. Our first Memento Atlan. I don't think that it is from OCG. I think it's from AE. Probably. Yeah, AE tournament. Asian English tournament. This time Chimera as well. We just need to skim through this because it is Asian English format. And yeah, Salaman great. Really sensible. Next would be Snake Eyes. And moving on next, we do have Blue Eyes Primate as the champion of the tournament. Still played Crimson Dragon. I'm not really sure if I will consider playing Crimson Dragon at this point. I think even Shen is better than this, but it depends on the pilot. What is the end goal that you want? If you just want to see fear and yeah, your Neo Blue Eyes, no, I think it could work this way. But for me, it's not really up to the scale level of the other extra deck monsters or the other Blue Eyes alternate boards that is more played. And moving on next to the Yu-Gi-Oh! LU La Union Tournament, the Toy Bazaar event results. Champion would be, oh my goodness, Subterror. What the freak? Subterror. Really? Yeah. Just banked on the consistency of pot cards duality, extra prospect, and just played pure high impact traps with Judgment, Strike on the main deck, Dogmatica Punishment, no? And good mixture of hand traps as well, no? Playing 3 Imperm, Double Nib, and Ash Blossom on the main deck. Still played Called by the Grave, maybe he just wants to play around certain Ash, no? Or Veiler. And lose 1 turn. Oh my goodness. Lose 1 turn can do so much against this metagame. I just think that lose 1 turn has been terrific on this deck. And being the champion of this tournament, probably fared against high tiered decks. But it's just so really fascinating to see Subterror tapping in 2025. I'm not really sure what is the name of the card, Beneath Lightning Storm. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm not really sure what is the name of this trap card. Is this even trap card or continuous trap? Not really sure. Enlighten me on the comments below. What is this card? Next, we do have Chimera. Yeah, Chimera. Illusionist with Is it playing Finsmith? Yeah, it is playing Finsmith with Azamina. I thought I am seeing things. I didn't really saw Finsmith this time. And Wang Hu Tiger, wow. Wang Hu Tiger tech could be really something else in this Philippines environment. It could do so much work for you. And pretty underrated tech card for Chimera Illusionist decks recently. And next we do have Ryzil. So see, Subterror top just went toe-to-toe with Ryzils and Chimera Finsmith Azamina decks now. So yeah, it's just so really good to see. And Ryzil with double Small World this time. The recent trend for Ryzil was playing one of Small World only, but we could consider playing 2 Small World if you just want to boost the consistency. And yeah, moving on next, the last report on our tournament report and deck list reviews would be KGS Card Shop in Indonesia, sporting RDA Red Dragon Archfiend deck. Not really knowledgeable on this type of deck, but it's playing the Crimson main deck monster and Earthbound cards. Yeah, Earthbound cards as well, with Synchro Rumble and couple of staples on the main deck. Regeki, one of Lightning Storm, one of Nibiru, one of Duster. Yeah, it's just so cute at this point. I think you just blend in going second approach on this deck. And yeah. Oh, we still have one. Evo Community. We have Maliss from Steven. Is this the alternate art for Called by the Grave? Yeah, I'm quite skeptical. I think it is the new Called by the Grave. Yeah, with the Evil Twin art. Next would be Maliss. Once again, double Signet Mining and one of Talent. And next would be Memento. Standard? Yeah, standard. Just play the Underworld Goddess on the extra deck. And double Bell as well. Another player that is sporting Bell. Next would be Salaman Great. We had seen 2 Salaman Great in our report. Not too bad, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, that sums up our OCG metagame report and decklist reviews from February 23 to March 1, 2025. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.